Hey, it's John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and it's The Entrepreneurial You, the show for dedicated and passionate Caribbean entrepreneurs seeking daily inspiration, brought to you by author, speaker, and award-winning entrepreneur Heneka Watkis-Porter. You must be prepared to ignite.
Coming up on this episode of The Entrepreneurial You.
Life is going to happen to us all, but the question is, what do we do with it? Do we remain productive? Do we take what is happening around us, which is our surroundings and our environment, and do good with it?
Welcome back to The Entrepreneurial You. I'm your host, Heneka Watkis-Porter. Today's featured guest is America's #1 potential passion and productivity speaker, strategist, and consultant. A best-selling author of multiple books, he is the founder and the CEO of Live to Produce Enterprises and president of Gigare Lifestyle magazine. He is also recognized as one of the top 40 productivity experts to follow on Twitter since 2012. He's an executive professional of the year and recently named Black Wall Street Phoenix, Arizona Entrepreneur of the Year for 2016. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome Dr. Vernet A. Joseph to the Entrepreneurial You. Welcome, Dr. V.
Hey, Heneka, how's it going out there in Jamaica?
Oh, it is going great. It is awesome. It's absolutely beautiful down here. And, we're just looking forward to having a good time speaking with you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Before we head straight into the interview, we have a fun question for you. And that question is, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? Well, Coming to America, of course, many people who have seen it. It's one of the all-time greatest with Mr. Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall in it. I mean, Eddie Murphy must have played at least 6 different characters in the movie Coming to America. One of the other reasons that I love it so much is because it speaks to productivity. And it's not only comical, but makes so much sense business-wise as well. I love Coming to America. I could watch that. Matter of fact, I do watch that every year.
You really do love that movie. What I want to get from you is your website and your Twitter handle in the event that, you say something that resonates with our community, that they can just go right ahead and tweet at you.
Absolutely. Well, my website is livetoproduce.com. And then my Twitter handle is Dr. V.A. Joseph. So Drva Joseph.
Awesome. Tell us a little more about who you are as an individual, your background. How did you become this productivity evangelist?
Well, I mean, all my life I've had the entrepreneurial bug. I've been around some great people. I've had some great opportunities, some great mentors in my life. Grew up on the streets of Miami, Florida. My parents were from Haiti, so we were known as immigrants, if you would. But all my life, I've had the opportunity to seek after my goals. And one of the things that I like to tell people is very early on in life that I needed a map which is just like a GPS. When you have the right mentality and you have the right attitude and the right perspective on life, it is easy to navigate through life. Many people ask, well, Dr. V, how did you do it so early? I am one of those people who, when I look around me and I look at my surroundings, I am a sponge. I'm a lifelong learner. So I don't like to make many mistakes, but when I see people make mistakes, I make sure that I write that down in my book. So I not only learn from the good that people do, but I also learn from the mistakes faced. My life has truly been a wonderful blessing simply because I am very in tune with my surroundings. Life is going to happen to us all, but the question is, what do we do with it? What is your perspective? So in my life, what I have found that I needed a map, M-A-P, early on in life. Just like many people are using GPS devices today, I used a map. That map for me stood for mentality, attitude, and perspective of life. And because I chose to do that at an early age, I was able to capitalize where other people made mistakes. I called those life lessons. Where other people gave me encouragement or motivation, or even when they were trying to discourage me, I used that as fuel for me to actually blast off with my potential, my passion, and my productivity. So that's how it all started for me, even at a very young age.
You talk a lot and write a lot, eat, sleep, drink, productivity. First, before I even go any further, let me hear what your definition of productivity is and why are you so passionate about it?
I will tell you this, Heneka. For me, productivity has thousands of different definitions, but at its simplest form is doing more with less, getting the job done the right way with as less time as possible. Productivity to me is a lifestyle. It's not just a mindset or a fad. Productivity tells people or shows people that you have endless possibilities. Yes, there are multiple avenues to get to a destination, but what is the most productive way to get to a destination? And that's where my life truly is different. Yes, I talk about productivity quite often because it's the only thing that I know. Finding and helping people to live their best life and enabling them to do it from their place of passion. For me, that's what true life is all about. And being productive is simply getting the right things done with less. So some people say more is good. I like to say less is more.
What would you say to us to help us to really keep our focus and not be distracted by the many things that are happening around us on a daily basis?
Absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful question. First, let me say this. Productivity is a state of mind. It's something that must be perceived as prior to it being achieved. Now, it cannot be achieved if you're not focused. I have an acronym that I like to use with my clients. It's called FFD, fixed, focused, and dedicated. Without focus, it is impossible to see a destination. It's impossible to see a route. It's impossible to get from point A to point B unless you're willing to wander. Now, when you talk about wandering, it means that you don't know where you're going. You're just walking. Have you ever been on the side of the road and decided that you wanted to get to another destination? If you wandered, you would never get there. You would be tossed to and fro. You would take left when you should take right. There's nothing more frustrating for a human being than to try to get to a location and don't have the coordinates or don't know how to get there. It's called wasted space, wasted time. When you get laser focused, it helps you to cut down on that time. It teaches you how to do more by doing less. Very simple. Right now, if you wanted to get to the other side of the island, what would you have to do? You'd have to get in a vehicle or get in some type of transportation that knows where they are going to help you get there. So today, we have this thing called the GPS, Global Positioning System, that we utilize on our phones. Well, the only way is because somebody took the time to be laser focused on every actual destination that gave you the steps, the tools, and a strategy on how to get there, even if you didn't know how. And as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as people of productivity, focus is absolutely essential.
And how can we make the best use of our time? What I want to get from you, Dr. V, practical steps. How can we ensure that we are staying focused and not getting distracted at all?
Absolutely. Another wonderful question. I will tell you this. Number one, the only way for you to get, laser focused and not waste time is to start investing time. Let's talk about that first.
Yes, let's talk about that.
You don't spend time, you invest time. And the reason that I say that, some people would say, oh, it's just a play on words, but let me show you why this is so very important. When you spend your money, do you expect to get it back?
No, it's gone
No.
forever.
When you invest, absolutely. When you invest your money, you're expecting some type of return.
Sure.
So what we have to learn to do is invest time. Now, let's take this in a practical sense. Every one of us get 24 hours in a day.
Absolutely.
We cannot ask God for an extra hour because he's already set it in concrete that it will only be 24, right? So what do you do from the moment that you wake up to the moment that you lay down? Typically, most people will get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, it is imperative that you get at least 6. I know that there are out there that are talking about grinding and all of that stuff, but listen to me clearly, if you don't take care of your body will eventually give up. So that's number one. Take care of your body and your health. Number two, invest your time wisely. Everybody is going to be vying for your time, whether it's the people at the grocery market because you got to eat, whether it's a job if you work for someone else, or even if you work for yourself. You're going to have to be disciplined in your time. So part of investing your time is investing in your health and then investing in your time. Time hacks. When you wake up in the morning, you need to have a plan. I first start off by telling people it's preparation, preparation, preparation. After preparation, there's a plan. After the plan, then you have to go out and develop it. So the number one key for people to be focused and to be productive in their life is to invest their time. How? By preparation. It only takes 15 minutes of preparation to set up your entire next day. So if you take the time to be disciplined, to prepare the night before, then you won't wake up wondering, what am I going to do today? And if someone happens to come to you and ask you to do something outside of what you were prepared to invest, you have to evaluate, where does that fit in my plan? Because one of the keys for me, Heneka, is I literally have every moment of my day planned out. I wish I could show you. I have what I call productivity snapshots. I have one for the day. I have one for the week. I have one for the month, and one for the quarter, one for semi-annually, and one for annually. It breaks down every day of the week. It gives me my focuses. It gives me the doing, and I also have reminders on every one of those productivity snapshots. It's simply, if I could describe it to you, it would be a calendar. The monthly snapshot looks under that calendar. It has week 1 through 5 because some months have 5 weeks. Then it has a slot for my reminders and a slot for my open projects and my closed projects. And underneath it, it says, we are all equal in time, but separated by how we produce in it. So that is my reminder every single day, not to waste time, but to invest time. And the key to that is discipline.
I know I'm also guilty, Dr. V. Like, I would have plans, right? And I'm sure so many of our community members listening are also guilty of this. We have a plan, but forming habits to stick to that plan is a challenge at times. Now, how can you inspire and motivate us to say, hang on to that plan for dear life?
Oh, that's very, very simple. Now, listen to me clearly. Everybody who's out there listening, I want you to say this after me. I will no longer leave money on the table. Now, it just got serious. Why? Because your plan should always bring you to some financial gain for your business and your life. I'll share this with you. As I share with many, do not leave or turn the knob on my door or allow the garage to go up unless it falls in one of four buckets. One is financial, one is future, one is spiritual and faith, and the other is relationship. So I don't move unless it's feeding one of those four buckets. So when you start making a plan, your plan should be connected to your livelihood, to your vision in. So the question that will help you to stay on track with your plan is, what am I doing to make this world a better place? When you answer that question, you now can ask the second question or say the second statement. I will no longer leave money on the table. When you deviate from the plan, you deviate from your profit and you deviate from your mission. So that is how you stay fixed, focused, and dedicated to your plan.
So to our peak performers, remember now that we need to prepare, we need to plan, and we need to develop that plan. Dr. V, when I was in St. Martin, I got this book, How to Get Something Out of Nothing, 21 Power Plays of Serial Entrepreneurs. Your book in collaboration with Marcus Ugile and Jamal Cummings.
Yes, indeed.
There are 21 power plays. For you, which of these power plays we're talking about? I'm prepared, exposure, no limits, getting ready to fail, look for the no, use what you have, and so many more. For me, the one that stood out most was collaboration. It's not like we haven't, or I haven't known that it's important to collaborate. But even within the Caribbean context, sometimes we find ourselves being so competitive that we forget that, listen, we ought not to be competitors, but, be collaborating in our efforts. And together we achieve so much more. Now, for you, which of these power plays stand out? It's your book, right? But I'm asking you.
I love it. Let me say this on the collaboration. I love collaboration, and as I said in St. Martin, collaboration is the new currency. We have to learn how to collaborate with one another. Look at us today. I'm in Arizona, you're in Jamaica, but we're making it happen. This is a collaboration. So collaboration helps you to go global. So you can be in Jamaica, but reach every part of the world when you learn collaboration. For me, I would like to say that number one, keep it simple. And here's why, because oftentimes people have these elaborate goals, but then they try to make it so complex. You know what I love? I love Richard Branson. And he said this. He said, you know what? In order to start a business, all you have to do is solve a problem. That's very basic. That's very simple. And that's why he's been able to establish well over 400 businesses. So for me, I would say keep it simple. Learn what you need to learn. Do what you need to do, but make it simplistic so that anywhere you go, like right now, if you ask somebody about Dr. V, the first thing they're going to say is the productivity guy.
Yeah. True.
My number one main thing is productivity.
So back on our topic of productivity, I mentioned collaboration and you mentioned keep it simple. Now, tying all of those in, and we saw the benefits, based on our conversation earlier, but tying those in for our peak performers listening in right now, how do they tie back to this whole productivity conversation?
Oh, wow. That's very simple. Any one of the laws are gonna tell you that you need to be productive. If you look at this book, How to Get Something Out of Nothing, 21 Power Plays, for serial entrepreneurs, it reeks of productivity. Why? Because I'm teaching you these principles and practices that we've used and philosophies that will help you to be more productive. So when you look at any of these, collaboration, keeping it simple, go big, over deliver, winning through wisdom, all of these are actually pillars to help you to be more productive in your life. Why? Because life is very simple, but we as human beings make it complex. Why? Because we start competing instead of complementing one another. These simple principles are truths that will help you to learn how to complement versus compete. Competition is good and it's healthy, but you are the designer you. Nobody else can be you. So when you're talking about productivity, our goal is to help you produce at your optimal level, at your peak performance. We want you to be the best version of you possible. Doesn't matter what your partner may be doing to the left or to the right of you. The key is to be the best version of you as possible. And I think that's probably one of the reasons your show is called Entrepreneurial You.
Indeed. We want persons to peak. We want them to be at their, to level up and to accomplish great things, not to settle for less than their true potential. And that's why we're having persons like yourself on the show, Dr. V. That you can help and inspire our community to level up. Before we close, what I want to get from you, your final words tied to how to be a successful person. And success means different things to different persons, But in terms of person's own definition of success, being productive, what does that mean for their success-oriented results, success outcomes?
That's a very sticky situation right there, but I'm going to answer it from this perspective. This is what I would tell you. Gain clarity, gain visibility, gain structure. Make sure you are embraced and immersed in your community, and then make sure that you focus on your influence. These are things that help businesses be successful in terms of reaching other people, other businesses, going global. These are the number 5 problems that most businesses face. A lack of clarity, a lack of visibility, a lack of structure, a lack of community, and a lack of influence. So if you're going to use your life, your business to be more successful and productive, then you need to gain these things: clarity, visibility, structure, community, and influence. And you do it in such a way to where it's not about only gain for yourself. You do it because watch this now. You do it because you're gifting to help other people so that other people can gain from that which you have learned. You do it because it's your gifting so that other people can gain from that which you learn. To me, this is a principle that cannot be broken when you look at success and significance. Use your gift to help other people gain. So
awesome. In other words, whatever we do must be tied to our purpose. And I like to say that my purpose is life transformation through inspiration. Everything I do must be tied to my purpose. If it's not tied to it, I am not doing it. There was a point when I'd want to help everybody and his wife, But no, every single thing I do must be tied to my purpose. I'm an entrepreneur evangelist, and I do that through speaking. I do that through writing my books. I do that through, having this show. And because I also own a business, I own a fashion business, fashion/culture business. So everything that I do is tied to my purpose. And I'm glad you brought that home for us, for our community. And just want to also reiterate what you said earlier, that we need to, in order to be productive, to take care of our bodies. Too many times I see us as entrepreneurs neglecting our body at the expense of the grind, and only to find that pretty soon that you will not be able to have this much energy and your health begin to suffer. So it is important that as entrepreneurs, we take care of our body and that we invest our time wisely, not spend our time. I'm glad you also brought that home for us. Not spend our time, but invest our time and invest it wisely so that we can reap the rewards, of productivity.
Absolutely. And let me say this, Heneka, one of the things that are a quote that stays in my mind is by William Barclay. It says, there are 2 great days in a person's life: the day we are born and the day we discover why.
Why, right. I actually thought that was Miles Monroe.
Monroe?
Yes.
Yes, understood. Another great mentor of mine. Actually the first recorded person that was noted to say that is a man by the name of William Barclay. And it's a blessing because it allows us, even in that, right? Everything that we do, writing books, helping people, so on and so forth, we are literally just edifying and intensifying our gifts. So even with those words, I mean, the late great Miles Monroe affected millions of people around the world because he was not afraid, watch this, to share his message. And one day, when before his passing, he would know what he wanted to be remembered for.
Which is important.
Which really means, what legacy do you want to create? So that's another reason to a question that you asked about deviating from the plan. The plan should always match your message that you're bringing to the world, what you want to be remembered for, and what legacy you're trying to create.
And if I were in church, I would have said amen.
Absolutely.
Dr. V, it has been certainly a pleasure having this conversation with you. We're coming to a close. Want to ask, I know you had mentioned earlier that you have a giveaway for our community. So you want to share that with us, and then I'll just you can also share how they may get your book and other ways of getting in touch with you, because you have impacted them, no doubt. They've been listening. And no doubt you've impacted them in a profound way, and they want to get in touch with you. So give us that link to that freebie that you have for them, as well as contact information where we can find.
Absolutely. Well, the freebie that I want to give away, if you would email me at contact live, L-I-V-E, produce at Gmail. That's contact live, produce at Gmail. I will send you a free ebook, 10 keys to this book. Is going to assist you. It gives you some really, really, really down-to-earth things that will help you to stay on track and be productive. So that's for the giveaway. To get in contact with me, you can utilize that email as well, or visit me on the web at livetoproduce.com. You can find all my books. Well, not all of them. I only put certain. I've written about 20. I'm doing the 23rd one right now that will release this month. Which is another book on relationships called 3 Dimensions to a Hot and Spicy Relationships.
Woo!
That will drop this month. But the How to Get Something Out of Nothing, 21 Power Plays of Serial Entrepreneurs, is available on my website as well at livetoproduce.com. And anytime that you need to get in touch with me, that is the best avenue to do so. Find us on social media. If you want to join the relationship group, you can find me on Facebook at Relationships 3D. If you want to join the Business Power Plays group, just go to Business Power Plays on Facebook. That's another group that we have out there, as well as, tweet, Facebook, or do whatever you do on social media, as well as looking at our magazine, our online magazine that Heneka has been so blessed to grace us with an article in. I'm sure that you'll be sharing the link to that, but that's Jigare Lifestyle Magazine, and that can be found at www.gigarelifestyle.com. So thank you so much for having me, Heneka. I know that it is beautiful in Jamaica.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got to get out there. We need to connect and do a conference or something. Make it happen.
It will. I just need to plan it. We just need to sit down and knock heads and see how we're going to do this. It's going to happen.
Keep dominating. I love it.
If you've enjoyed this free podcast, please show your love and support by heading over to HenekaWatkis-Porter.com and click in the subscribe in iTunes button at the top of our page. Leave your rating and review, and hopefully a 5-star rating. Thank you to our peak performers for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Heneka Watkis-Porter. Remember, you were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. Walk good.